Hey, awesome people. Mr. C here with you for another fractions video. Make sure if you learn anything new at all, click that like and subscribe button. Join us as we continue making math understandable and challenging. This video, we are going to be subtracting mixed numbers with like denominators with regrouping using the standard strategies. This will be our practice problems video. If you're looking for the teaching video, it is in the description below. Check that out. Also in the description, you will find our 4th grade fractions and mixed numbers playlist, 3rd grade fractions, 2nd grade fractions. All of those playlists are linked in the description below. Again, this is our practice problems video for subtracting mixed numbers with like denominators with regrouping using standard strategies. Let's try some together. Well, ladies and gentlemen, do you have a growth mindset? Do you? Are you ready for a challenge? Are you going to use your mistakes to help you, or are you going to give up? Do you believe that just because you can't do something yet, that hard work and patience and asking good questions, are you able to learn? Yes, you are. Okay, and I'm glad you are here for this practice problems video. So let's get started with it. If you're looking for the teaching video, again, it's in the description below. Check that out. Here we go. We've got 3 and 2/6 minus 2 and 5/6. I have lined up my whole numbers. I've lined up my fractions, and let's get started. 2/6 minus 5/6 is what? Well, we can't do that, okay? If you have 2/6, you couldn't give me 5/6. So what do we need to do? We need to regroup. Where are we regrouping from? We are regrouping from our 3, our whole number of 3. And we're going to take one whole from it. Okay, we're going to take one whole from it. And what we're going to do with that one whole is we're going to regroup it into a fraction. Now, what fraction are we going to make it? Well, can't we just put a 1 right here and make this 12/6? Or maybe we need to put the 1 down here and make it 2/16. Or maybe we put a big 1 for a whole number. What do you think? None of those are going to work. Okay, what we need to do is we need to take this one whole and we need to regroup it into a fraction. And the fraction we're going to regroup it into is 6/6. One whole is equal to 6/6. Where did I get that? I got it from right here because our denominators are 6. Let's make it easy on ourselves and make our whole number have the same denominators. Okay, so we've got 6/6. Now what do we do with it? Do we just leave it over here? What happens with it? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to add 6/6 up here. Okay, so 6/6 plus 2/6 is going to give us 8/6. Okay, let me rewrite that a little bit better. There we go. So that gives us 8/6. Now, can you subtract? Can you do 8/6 minus 5/6? Yes, you can. 8/6 minus 5/6 is going to give us, well, 8 minus 5 is 3. Denominator stays the same, so that's going to give us 6. And there we go. We have subtracted the fraction. What do we do next? What needs to happen? We need to subtract what? The whole numbers. Are we going to do 3 minus 2 and get 1? No, we're not. We're going to subtract the 2 because we regrouped one whole. That's how we got 6/6. So 2 minus 2 is 0. You really wouldn't write 0 down, but we'll show it for a second here. Really, you would just have 3/6 because 2 minus 2 gives us 0. So our answer is 3/6. Parents, teachers, don't allow students just to fly through this and get an answer. Make sure they know what this looks like, okay? At some point, they need to have mastered the ability to draw this skill. Check out the models video that we have on this skill, because we don't want them just to be a calculator. We want them to be able to actually understand and see the math they are doing. Students, draw the models, make sure you understand what it looks like, and then do it this way, okay? Because I want to make sure you can see the work that you're doing. I don't really care how quickly you can solve this. What I care about is that you can see it, okay? Ask yourself, where did you get confused? Where did you get lost? What didn't make sense? Where did this 2 come from? Where did this 1 come from? How did we get 3 6? What is this 0 doing here? Ask yourself those questions. If you can answer those questions, boom, you are on the right track. If you can't answer those questions, you just need a little bit more practice, okay? Stick with it. Try this next one. Next one on the screen, we've got 8 3/10 minus 2 9/10. So here we go. Let's have some fun. Whole numbers are lined up. Fractions are lined up. Can we subtract the fractions? 3/10 minus 9/10. No, we can't. If I have 3/10, I couldn't give you 9/10. So what do? We're going to do some regrouping. Where are we regrouping from? We are going to borrow and regroup from this 8 whole. It's going to become a 7 because we are going to take 1 whole and do what with it? Are we going to put it right here? Are we going to put it, I don't know, down here? Do we put the 1 here? Like, what happens to this 1? Well, how does it magically, like, what happens to it? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 1 whole and we're regrouping it into a fraction. What fraction, y'all? In this case, the fraction is going to have a denominator of 10 and a numerator of 10. 10/10. Why? Because we want the fractions to all have the same denominator. It makes our life so much easier when they have the same denominator. So because they have the same denominator, what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to add 10/10. Okay, I'm actually going to write it on the other side because it really doesn't matter what side you write it on. I'm going to switch it up from that last one. So we've got 10/10. We're going to add that to 3/10, and that's going to give us 13/10. Now, ask yourself, can we subtract? Can we do 13/10 minus 9/10? Yes, we can. What is that? 13 minus 9 is 4. Is that right? Do not subtract the denominators. They stay the same. So we've got 4/10 when we subtract the fractions. Now, subtract the whole numbers. 7 minus 2 is 5. And there's our answer. 5 4/10. Parents, teachers, ask your students, where did we get this 1 from? Why couldn't we just subtract 3/10 minus 9/10? Why did we have to do more work? Students, draw the model and see if you get the same answer. All right, draw this model for this problem and see if we get the same answer. Make sure I didn't make a mistake. All right, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. I'm always looking to get better, okay? Ask yourself a couple questions here. Where did the 7 come from? Where did 13/10 come from? How did we get 4/10? Okay, ask yourself those questions. Take a look and see where you may have made a mistake. What didn't make sense? Where are you lost? Slow yourself down. Rewatch this problem if you need to. Remember, you may not be able to do it yet. Yet is the key word. Stick with it, okay? Try another one with me. Well, this is my last one here in this video for us, ladies and gentlemen, and let me just tell you, this is a challenge problem, okay? Be ready. Be ready for this challenge. Really think through it. Slow yourself down. Try it on your own if you want, but really slow down and think through this, okay? Notice, I've got 14 1/3 minus 9 2/3. I lined up my fractions, and I lined up the ones place value. Notice this 9, I lined it up with the 4. Why? Because they're both in the ones place value. I didn't write this 9. I didn't write this 9 over here in the tens place value because it's not a 10. This 9 is a 1. That is why it's in the ones place value. Okay, I lined them up. That's really important. A lot of times we make that mistake and it screws up the whole thing. Okay, so here we go. Let's subtract these fractions. Can we do 1/3 minus 2/3? We cannot. So what does that mean, Mr. C? What that means is we are regrouping. From where, you may ask? From the 4. This 4, we take away 1 whole. That becomes a 3. Okay? So we regrouped. We took this 3. Give me a second. I'm actually going to rewrite this down a little bit. All right? Give me a second. I'm going to move this down a little bit so that way we've got a little bit more room. Okay? I do that a lot whenever I don't give us enough room, and I want to make sure we have enough room here. Okay? So there's 14 minus 9 and 2/3. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Okay. All right. Back to it. So here we go. We're going to regroup from this 4 whole. That's going to become 3. This 1 is going to become a fraction. What fraction is it going to become? We are regrouping it into a denominator of 3 and a whole number of 3. Remember, numerator of 3. When the numerator and denominator are the same number, they are equal to 1 whole. Okay? So we're going to add 3/3, and that's going to give us 4/3. Now can you subtract? 4/3 minus 2/3 gives us 2/3. There we go. All right. Now let's subtract the ones place value. All right, 3 minus 9 is 6. No, it's not. Did you make that mistake? Ask yourself, did you? Did you? Don't be embarrassed if you did. I do that a lot too, okay? It is not 6. We cannot subtract 3 minus 9, right? If I had 3 and you needed 9, I couldn't give you that, okay? So what do we do? What do we do, Mr. C? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do the same thing we've been doing since like kindergarten. We're going to borrow and regroup. We're going to regroup this 110 into what? 10 ones. So this 3, we're adding 10 to it. And what happens to that? That becomes 13, right? So now we added 10. We've got 13 minus 9. Ask yourself, what is 13 minus 9? That is 4 and 2/3. 14 and 1/3 minus 9 and 2/3 gives you a final answer of 4 and 2/3. Told you this was going to be a challenge. Did you get it? Where did you make a mistake? Where did you get lost? A lot of times what happens is students don't line it up correctly. The place values are all out of whack, all those things. Parents, teachers, this one here is a challenge, man. We're taking what they've learned all the way back with subtracting whole numbers and regrouping, and we've thrown in the challenge of mixed numbers and fractions, and it is just a challenge. So really take your time with this, push them, challenge them. But again, our goal is to help them develop this number sense, to add on to all the stuff they've learned over the years. Encourage them, have people share their mistakes, ask them to be brave, celebrate that, celebrate those that are trying these problems. The more we try, the better we're going to get. The cool thing with math is you're going to make mistakes. All right, celebrate those mistakes. Students, thanks for trying this one. All right, never be afraid of a challenge. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Your brain just grew, okay? Don't give up. Stick with it. Try some on your own. The more you practice, the better you are going to get. If you need the teaching video, it is in the description below. Check that out. Also, parents, teachers, in the description below is a link to IXL. IXL is an awesome program I have used in my classroom that really helps students master skills and track their learning. It is a great way to have students work on skills for 15 or 20 minutes a day to supplement the stuff you're already doing. Don't put them on there for an hour and a half. Have them work on a skill for 20 minutes. Then have them get off, okay? It is an awesome program. That link is in the description below. It is a free 7-day trial. Check that out. I promise you it is an awesome, awesome program. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you learned anything new at all, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. Join us as we continue making math understandable and challenging. That's all I have for you today. Mr. C, out.